What did we just watch?
We just watched The Twilight Zone.
Episode 1, Where is Everybody? Tell
Thoughts?
me, what is the premise of Where is Everybody?
I think it was, well, I guess, about isolation and what it does to a man's mind.
Yeah, and how eventually we crack. We can't stand it. This is the first episode of The Twilight Zone ever. Why are we watching The Twilight Zone?
Why are we watching Twilight Zone?
Because it is my favourite show of all time. I think it is the best show of all time. So creative. It's just brilliant. And I'd like to share that with you.
I'm excited.
Yeah, since you're sharing Star Trek with me, I want to share the Twilight Zone.
Oh, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And each episode is all very different, and it's got the genius of Rod Serling behind it. And I'm seeing some of Gene Roddenberry's genius, and I want you to see Rod Serling's. So yes, we watched.
How old were you when you first started watching it?
About 10 or 11. It used to be on
TV?
Yeah, it was on the Sci-Fi Channel in the UK. They did an hour of it a day. So at 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, we'd watch The Twilight Zone, me and my brother. When we should be at school or college or whatever, we just go to the shops, buy big bottles of juice, Coca-Cola or whatever, and sweeties, potato chips, blah blah blah, lots of just crap, and this would set us up for the day. And part of our unemployed, waster, loser, young people routine was watching Twilight Zone at 2 until 3 on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Eating candy.
Eating lots and lots of candy and rotting the teeth out of our mouths.
But you first saw it when you were 10?
Yeah, I first saw episodes when I was around that age, and they were newer ones. Like there was the Outer Limits.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I never really watched it, but
it was good. It was
weird.
Good. So and then I'd catch episode of the Twilight Zone, and then I saw the Twilight Zone movie, and I was like, oh, that's neat. And the only time I could really start getting to watch it was when it came on the Sci-Fi Channel at the afternoons. So I was keen to try it out, and eventually I saw most of them, not all of them. And yeah, it's a great show. And Where is Everybody? It was the first episode. What do you think of it as a first episode?
It sucked me in.
Good.
I was into it.
I think it's trying to find its feet. It doesn't really know what it wants to be yet. Like you can tell, at the end they're explaining everything. Everything is explained. The officers.
Yeah. Is that not how it usually is?
This was a little. Maybe I think was for the time you had to tell them if what was going on. The audience, you maybe didn't.
This was too wild for their brains.
Maybe like you had to just say, "Hey everyone, here's what's going on. Here's what happened," just to not leave them in any confusion. It's like in Psycho. The worst part of that movie is the end when the psychiatrist is explaining Norman's condition, and everything that happened, and we're just
get it.
Yeah. So you don't really. Maybe it was just the way they did things back then. But later on, it does get smoother. It gets tighter. This one was just a wee bit clunky here and there. Like the premise is the asteroid, and then the astronaut is on this weird town, and he's walking around, and there's no one around, and he doesn't know what's going on or what happened. Or
he was taking it really well, though. The guy has a sense of humor to it for a bit, and then he finally
loses his shite.
It's like, this isn't right.
Yeah, they throw him in there. He's wandering around ice cream parlors and stuff, and everyone's everywhere. There's nothing around, and that for me was a little bit clunky as well. I mean, I don't know anything, right? This is just my opinion, but if he walked around that town without saying anything, right now in this episode he's going around with like this running commentary. What's happening? He's talking to himself in the mirror, all that kind of thing.
I liked that part.
Yeah. What part? The part when he's talking.
When he's talking to himself in the mirror.
Mm.
Yeah. Talking to himself as another person.
Right.
Just to have somebody to talk to.
What about when he's just walking around the streets, like talking, and I'm thinking,
Like, you don't think it's realistic?
um, I think it would have been a braver choice if he wasn't talking at all.
Mm-hmm.
And we were watching him in utter silence, and he wasn't explaining anything. He was like, because if you're a person, you're not giving a running commentary when you're alone. Like if you're alone and you're doing the dishes, and you don't start like talking as if there's an audience and what you're doing and all this stuff, and you quietly think and maybe mumble something here and there. So if he was wandering around, quite looking lost and scared, but occasionally mumbling a thing or two, it might have been a braver decision.
Yeah, it's like a whole different guy.
Yeah, this guy's yeah,
Chatty.
chatty and
I'm like kind of goofy about it.
yeah, yeah. Why why is so? This is about isolation, right? And the effects of that on people. Why is that? Why is that an interesting subject to touch on today?
Oh, interesting. Because of COVID. And we have to isolate each other.
Yeah.
But then everyone is like, but then there's signs everywhere for like, we're all in this together. And then, but we have to be very apart from each other.
So
Interesting.
I've never seen those signs yet.
Did you see when we were driving on the highway? They had COVID-19, stay at home,
Yeah.
wash your hands. And then there's signs everywhere in grocery stores.
Yeah, so that's the time we're living in, the quarantine of the COVID times.
Yeah, month 3.
Month 3, is it month 3 of the pandemic?
March. Well, I guess it came in January.
January, maybe December, but we're in the first real hard hitting month of being quarantined and isolated and told to stay away, and I don't work anymore because my work was affected and I had to basically be in the house watching the Twilight Zone. And unfortunately you have to work because your job is an essential service and you have to keep doing your thing. And now it would be much better if you were here so we could watch more Star Trek, more Twilight Zone, but we can't.
That would be ideal.
That would be a good spin on this. But anyway, this is the situation we're living in. So this is a really, it's timely in today's time. Do you think people who are isolated in real life would react like he does in this? People who are isolating in their houses, like right now.
Right. No, because I don't think it's been long enough. And he didn't really have, I think they kind of messed up the experiment because they didn't, or his mind didn't give him like any context. Like he had amnesia, right? Like, so I think like you don't have context with the isolation. Yeah. I don't think people are off the bend yet.
Need a couple of more months. And then we start going loopy. Yeah.
How long do you think you would last if you couldn't talk to anybody without your going loopy?
Maybe. Well, I was going to say 2 weeks, but then I'm one of those people who would probably, after the 2 weeks, get used to it and then be like, right, this is the way I want it all the time, and no one to ever bother me ever again.
You just accept it.
And get so used to it, like you get used to your routine. You don't want it ever changed.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, I see that.
Would you do that? Like you get a routine every day, and there's some comfort in doing the routine.
I love routine.
Yeah.
I can think better with routine.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think he kind of cracked when he sensed people were watching him?
Oh, I was going to mention that.
Like it wasn't so much the isolation bit, but it was the feeling of being watched, which would be unsettling.
If you're walking around a town and it's all empty and weird and no one's there, but you do sense someone watching, that would be freaky.
Yes.
That's the thing that might drive you mad.
You wouldn't feel safe at all. It would be very creepy.
And he's talking to mirrors and he breaks a mirror maybe this is the idea that people are watching him. I don't know.
Like, why would he get that sense?
Maybe there's
Or is it just because his brain broken?
maybe there's a you know when you cover a part of your senses, you cover your like eyes and you can hear better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some I don't know if they're better, but they're more they're heightened. So if you can't see, your sense of hearing is heightened, or you know what I'm saying?
You concentrate on the sense
That is available,
yeah.
yeah. So maybe this is if he's in isolation and he's in this chamber, a lot of his senses are currently not being used because he's in this chamber. So when he's in his imagination, maybe his psychic sense is hyperactive and he can sense these presences, these eyes.
That sounds like a Twilight episode.
Like the movie Twilight.
The Twilight Zone episode.
Oh, like this one we just watched, or another one?
No, it was just the one that was about psychic abilities.
No. Oh yeah, we'll come to that one.
You made one in your head.
Oh, I don't know if there's my Twilight Zone episodes on. It's mostly just Rod Serling, but trust me, he's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I don't know if we should. I feel bad rating Twilight Zone out of 10. Like
You don't have to.
No, but it's good to put a firm figure on things. You know, I like things to be complete.
You need to stamp it with something.
Yeah, it's got to have a stamp, like a lick on the envelope to seal it in place.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone. Someone will say, "Oh, the envelope fell out." What do you mean the envelope fell out? I licked the fucking thing. I licked it and I sealed it. It couldn't have fallen out.
It's final.
It's final. It's a stamp, and then later on you can do another review and change your mind. But until then, it's a stamp of where we stand as in today,
As
the
of
COVID
now.
era.
Okay, so how do you rate?
I would give this 6 Twilights out of 10 zones. What about you?
I give it 7 amnesias out of 10 isolations.
Oh,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, well,
I had a lot of thoughts.
I think I'm giving it 6 because I know where this show goes and the heights it gets
better?
to. Yeah, the sort of heights it reaches. And for me, that was the middle of the road. I would never rate a Twilight Zone bad. They've all got something interesting to say. But this one was just a little bit, a smidgen above average.
I enjoyed it.
Okay, so what did we just watch?
The Twilight Zone.